Hello friends, I'm going to go ahead and hit record right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and go live in our main Powered by Amy group community. So let me go ahead and go live. Hi friends, my name is Janessa Oriel and I'm the head of community here at the Sell with Amy app, hashtag Sell with Amy, and I'm really excited to be able to come here live with you. I'm going to clear that out really quickly. I'm excited to be able to come here live because this is one of those things that we don't necessarily touch base on. You know how you need kind of a quarterly review? Well, it's almost the end of the third quarter, which absolutely blows my mind. And I wanted to be able to go ahead and do this quarterly review of the app so that way you can make sure you're super efficient for the infamous fourth quarter. Hi James, good to see you. So I'm really excited to be able to do this what's seemingly mundane, but we make it really, really easy. So oftentimes what happens is we want to make sure that when you get started with Amy, and maybe you're new to Amy, maybe you've been using Amy for 3 years because we've been around actually almost that. Point is, some of the beta testers have been using Amy for 3 years. Some just downloaded yesterday or today. And so either way, it's great to do a settings review. Why would we do that? We want to make sure that you're getting timely information. I'm going to go ahead. I'm a rock star, friends. I love doing that. Does anybody else love that? I close out of the app just to be able to see what Amy's going to tell me and let her stroke my ego a little bit, right? So if you do a settings review, it makes sure that you're getting Amy to-dos at appropriate times for you in the way that you work your business. So let's talk about what that might be. If I go to settings in the lower right hand corner here, and I go down to to-do settings, okay, let me make sure I'm pointing at exactly the right spot. Right here, to-do settings, if you select that, what'll happen is, now, in this case, I'm going to allow notifications because if you want to be able to stay super timely and up to date, you want to make sure that you allow notifications. Now, what happens here is Amy will actually send you a push notification once each day. Just once. The only other time that it actually allows or sends push notifications to you is if you have this social media post notifications turned on. And that's if you post to Instagram. What happens is it says, hey, there's a post that's been posted to Instagram. Do you want to add this bad boy to your social shop? Is it business related? So those are the only times that you actually get push notifications sent to your phone. And that's for a reason. We want to make sure that when we send something, it's something that's actionable and you can take care of right away. Now this daily to-do notification, all it does is say, hey friend, you have, in this case, you can see because my little bubble down here, you have 16 items to take care of for your business today. So you want to make sure that you're setting that at a time that is right for you in your day that you would typically work your business or reach out to your customers, right? So in this case, I have it set for 8 a.m., but I will tell you for my personal life, I've got 2 young kids that both need to be at school at 8 a.m. at 2 different schools. So this is not the best time for me. That said, if I change it to 8 p.m. when I have 2 kids that ideally are sitting in bed at that point in time, then I will be able to sit down. I'm on my couch and I'm in a position to be able to go ahead and take care of those to-do notifications. Right? So I'll be in a better position. So make sure to set that for you. Maybe it's if you work a day job and you take a look at your Amy app during your lunch break, that's a great time. And so it's one of those things that you can absolutely do. All right. So then once you have those set and you understand that that's when you're going to get those push notifications, we've had some really great insights from some of our sellers that actually have provided some interesting things that we didn't think about. One is when this was created, it was 222, and I will tell you that when that was generated, it was intended to be 2 days after an order, 2 weeks after an order, and 2 months after an order, because that was the typical cycle and the recommendation that we had heard in the past. And so we went with it and we started that, and it's a great way to follow up with your customers. However, we had some really, really cool feedback from somebody, and I feel like the philosophy came from someone who had some serving experience or waitressing experience. And their point was, if you turn a table over faster, you have the opportunity to get more tips, right? If you, from a math standpoint, if you have a table an hour, you're going to get a tip an hour. If you have a table every 45 minutes, then you have the ability to have potentially 1 to 2 more tips in a day, as an example. So she applied that to this. And what she was saying is, she said she cuts it in half. So she says thank you for an order immediately, just to say thank you and continue the conversation. It's intended to continue the conversation and be top of mind for that particular customer. And then she did check in on an order. She said she actually cuts that in half. Instead of being 14 days, she says it after 7 days. And part of that is so that way she can say, are you really pumped to get it? Whether they received it in that time frame or not, she wanted to be top of mind. But the big one is right down here, re-engage after a recent order. And that is, not that one, sorry. Where is it? Max items, max customers. Yes, re-engage after a recent order. She moved that down to like 4 weeks. No, yeah, 4 weeks because it's half. Right? And her intention is, it's not even just to talk about a customer or talk about an order, but it's truly to engage with that particular customer. So her whole point was, if you connect with your customers more frequently, you're also going to create a little bit of a FOMO type of situation. Let me check comments really quick. Hi, Rochelle. Good to see you here. James says, thanks for this. I need to update and this to be more accurate for when you actually want to do them. And that's absolutely why we wanted to bring it up, because we want to make sure that this is a tool for your business, and we want to make sure that you're able to utilize that tool and it's efficient for you and it's helpful for you, as opposed to something that's a lot more work, right? We want to make sure that it's a streamlined, really easy to use tool for your business that you found that you can find value in. James says, yep, you went in and updated the time similarly. So that's good to hear. James is another example where he's following up with his customer more frequently than the standard 222 format. Additionally, there's a lot of other things in this particular thing. So for example, if your company has samples, how frequently do you want to follow up after you provide a sample to somebody? Now, if your company does provide samples, you want to make sure that you're logging those when you actually give them out. Because I will tell you, as in the past, as a customer, I've received a sample and that bad boy sits in my purse for months. Whoops, that's not its intent. The goal is to be able to make sure that your customers, if you give them a sample, they utilize that sample as quickly as possible. And if there's any learning curve to your particular item or whatever they've sampled, you want to make sure to tackle that. So for example, maybe after 2 days is a great spot. If you do it after 3 weeks, it might still be living in their purse, or car, or wherever they may have put it, stashed, backpack, or whatnot. The goal is to be able to make sure that you're following up in a timely manner. Now that means you need to log the sample, right? Whether you have a partner, your company has a partnership with us or not, samples are not necessarily something that your company knows about, so you need to make sure you're logging it. I want you to, please hold. I want you to go ahead and make sure that you are making this timely and efficient for you. So additionally, I want to have you just take a look at all of these other things and make sure that they are timely, okay? Let me see, check in with team members. That's new, friends. How many friends, give me some hearts if you've already used this to connect with your team members. Now, for our friends that don't have syncing, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put this. Some of our friends have some back office syncing that includes team member information. The vast majority don't, and that's totally fine. The way to enable team-related functionality is to ensure that you have the ability to have those individuals listed as team members and then level 1. So for example, with Dash, he is currently listed as a team member and a level 1, and those are the individuals that I will get reminders to connect with. Back to our settings. back to our to-do settings. So go through, spend 5 minutes in this particular category, okay? If you don't want a reminder to post to Instagram, turn that off, right? If you don't need that reminder, if you're very consistent in that regard, turn that off because you don't need the reminder. It's not a to-do that you need. Some of our friends are new to Instagram and might need the reminder that that platform exists. And that platform is extremely powerful because it loads into our social shop. So we want to make sure that if that's not a platform that you're using or touching base on frequently, you want to make sure that you are popping over there and getting that reminder to go in. Also, reminder to tag post on social shop. I absolutely want that on because the social shop is such a great, powerful tool for you as your personalized digital business card. Now, if you're not familiar with the social shop, I encourage you to search this group for social shop. There's a plethora of information, or you can reach out to our support or our help portal because that is also in our settings. So if you go over, scroll down and you go to help portal, you have all the information. You can choose to search. It's there and ready to go. So back to Amy it is. I am going to go ahead and challenge you to go ahead and follow up or connect or touch base with your settings, right? Get them all set up and ready for the super busy selling season so that way you're getting timely and appropriate notifications. For our friends that don't have the ability to have orders automatically sync directly to Amy, I also encourage you to immediately log any orders that are placed. Whether your company sends an email, the second that you get that email, go ahead and log those orders so that way you're following up with your customers in a really, really efficient time frame and you're letting them know that you really care and appreciate their purchase. It's funny, the more that I connect with individuals, the more that I have connected with people that say, you know, I bought something and I never heard from them again. And raise your hand if you're guilty of that. I mean, I know that we have a number of friends that are there, but part of the benefit of this tool is that we are making sure that you are serving your customers. However, if you need to log those orders, it's worthwhile time, especially right after a big sale. Maybe there was a big sale and you did a number of orders this past weekend or in the past few days based on some promotions that your company's providing. You have the ability to make sure that you get those in so you're servicing your customers and they are going to be able to come back to you when they're ready to shop for the holiday season. Allison says, thank you for everything. Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. James says 100% yes. Totally agree with keeping connected with them in a shorter amount of time. And says same, almost all your sample follow-ups get the same reply. Oh yes, I have them, but haven't tried them yet. It's so true. And then let them know, I'll check in a few days later and create a note with a scheduled follow-up to keep the conversation going. I love that. You also, if you've given them a sample and then if they've used it, you have the ability to ask them to do a review for you. And you can say honest review. The cool thing about that is it's providing evidence that what you have to offer is of value. And then you just say, tag me in it. So that way people know, oh, tell me about that, whatever, that so-and-so tried. James loves the team follow-up feature. The time it takes to enter in orders is so worth it, right? Absolutely. It's one of those things where, yes, it'll take a few minutes. If you let them pile up, like if you go a month, and I will say from experience accidentally, if you let them go for a month and you enter them on the 20th of the month because you're looking to make sure that you round out your month strong, it's less effective and your customers can tell, right? So you want to be really consistent with it. Give yourself 5 minutes a day to make sure you're connecting with them. So with that said, I am going to wrap this up. If you have questions or if you're here at the end and you're watching the replay, drop a note below that says #afterparty because you're watching it after. Thank you to our friends who are joining live. So excited to be able to, I love this training. It's always a really fun one. If you have any questions, please drop them below and I will be monitoring it throughout the rest of the day. And the rest of time. And then I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same channel. Thanks, friends. Bye. Bye, friends.